This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
I am Lord Philip Recin, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show where it's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Lord Philip Recin.
Thank you. Yes, I am Lord Recin, or Recin, or whatever. People seem to have a problem with my last name, but that doesn't matter because I am still the best wrestler in Scandinavia. You can find me on Instagram mostly. That is Philip_Recin, RECEN_PW.
I apologize if for getting your last name wrong.
It is fine. I will allow it this time.
I will try to get it right during this interview. But what I will absolutely get right is putting all of the links to all your social media in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. So hopefully that will make up for it.
It will.
And can we find you? Do you have merchandise?
I currently am out of merchandise, but there will be some merchandise coming down the pipeline soon. Whether or not that will be available internationally, we will see. So far, it will only be available at the shows I frequent.
Okay. Well, I mean, being out of stock, that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah. That is a good problem.
Alright. Now you work for Stockholm Pro Wrestling and Freedom Pro Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with the companies?
Sure thing. Well, I've been in the business for about 6 years. Yeah, 6.5 years now. I started my training with the folks at Stockholm Wrestling, and I've been kind of on and off or a semi-regular part of their shows ever since my debut in early or late 2018, early 2019. As for Freedom Pro, I've been also a semi-regular part when they started up in 2019, and I have been I've been wrestling for them ever since.
Alright. And you actually wrestled for the Freedom Pro Wrestling title against Viggen Thunderbolt. Obviously one of the bigger names for Sweden. So what was that match like?
It was a fun, a bit, if not a bit, chaotic match. As we started the match, a whole lot of shenanigans happened, and the whole match got turned into a 6-man tag with the title on the line for, well, the winning team. It was but yeah, it was a pretty chaotic match. Unfortunately, my team did lose, but and I actually did kind of mess up my knee in that match, but not something like really that dire. But yeah, it was that was one of the highlights this year's, I would say.
And can you speak about your relationship with Viggen?
Oh, well, Viggen, he's a really important guy to me. He's been a bit of a coach for me. He's not the one who trained me, but he has been very instrumental in my development as a wrestler, nonetheless.
And going on the opposite end of that, you actually teamed with Stanislaw, another big name for Swedish pro wrestling. What was that like?
I mean, Stani, he's a great guy. He's probably like one of the most funniest persons in the European circuit right now. But yeah, like he comes in, he tells you what he wants to do, and like no matter what, like even if it's a big serious match, there is gonna be some fun comedic spots there, just on account of the guy that he is, but he's always fun to either go a match with or tag team with. It's so yeah, just a really great guy. Can't say enough good things about him.
Alright. Now, you wrestled one of the Bearded Brothers, Mange Morbuilt, in a Bell of Hell match?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird thing. So like the storyline for that match was that he had been I don't know, kind of possessed, that he was and when he heard the bell ring, he just kind of turned feral. So so we went a match, and I mean, it was kind of just a regular match, but there was some weird otherworldly shenanigans going on with the eponymous bell. But it was yeah, it's just an average day in Stockholm wrestling.
Do you kind of prefer the more theatrical side of pro wrestling, or do you like the more, raw, physical side of pro wrestling?
I mean, I feel wrestling overall, like you can't, like, unless in certain very niche cases, you can't really have the one without the other in professional wrestling. So, I mean, I feel, for me, character work is very important. Just how you present yourself, how you interact with both your opponents and the crowd. Of course, having some, good work, like some good work rates and some flashy moves and stuff, that helps, of course. But I would say probably that the character is what is remembered and what is the thing that brings so much fascination into the business.
Okay. Now, you're part of a group called the Foreign Legion with Frank Rattel and Jack Venveno Jr.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We have. Yeah. It's me, Frank Rattel, and Jack Veneno Jr. We're just a group that is just currently causing a lot of ruckus and chaos in Stockholm wrestling. We have the habit of just inviting a bunch of foreign wrestlers to help us just beat up all the baby faces. And hopefully we will see some gold in the future as well. But so far we are just content with beating up. We currently have our aim set on the Miller brothers, Ozzy and Jay.
Okay.
And at the time of this recording, there's actually a show this upcoming Saturday on the 20th of September, or 21st of September. Me and Veneno Jr. going up against the Miller brothers, and hopefully we'll kick their asses.
Well, it wouldn't be your first time against Ozzy. You did try and get his bounty one time, no?
Yeah, I have tried to get his bounty. We met in last year, or about this time. We also met there was a tournament for the vacant Stockholm Capital City Championship. We both met each other in the first round match, and I feel Ozzy is. I mean, he's been a guest on your podcast before,
yes.
And he's I feel like he's probably one of the funnest people currently in Scandinavia to wrestle against, because he is very good with the crowd. Like, the crowd loves him, so if you beat him up, like, you will be booed and hated no matter what.
And that is a good problem to have as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to the Foreign Legion, can you tell us about your relationship with Frank and Jack?
Well, so the group was kind of formed around Jack Veneno Jr. He's kind of the leader. I'm the second in command, and Frank is the he's the third in command. Or
happy to be there.
He's kind of the he's kind of like the military drill instructor, keeping the other recruits in line as we constantly keep expanding our ranks with any foreign wrestler that wants to come in and just cause some havoc. But we three are kind of the core unit, and our goal right now is just run roughshod over Stockholm wrestling, do whatever we want, and so far no one's been able to stop us.
What is a weird or odd habit that both of them have that you just don't understand?
I mean, Frank, he's kind of just this very. I feel like both of them are kind of a bit opposite of each other. Frank is very focused in the ring, like he doesn't care, like he sees the opponent and he's gonna do anything to get that, and which can kind of sometimes mess it up for us. Veneno, on the other hand, he's just enjoying the hate and vitriol from the crowd. He's to the point where sometimes he kind of focuses on that a bit too much, and when the baby faces get the upper hand, he tends to not be as quick on the draw to help out his fellow teammates when we sadly get beat up.
I gotcha. Now you was in a TLC match against Dimitri, no?
Yes, that is correct. Dimitri, my old tag partner, we made our show debut together as part of a tag team called Huga Chaka. We came out with the classic like Hooked on a Feeling song and everything, and well, while we were like good friends and stuff, we did not have any great tag success, which eventually led to me deciding, well, sometimes you just gotta trim the fat. So after a grueling match he had, I went to embrace him, and instead I gave him punch in the jaw, and that led to a long rivalry for a few shows, about half a year, and then at the big yearly like finale show for Stockholm Wrestling, their WrestleMania, basically, There Will Be Blood. We went up against each other in a TLC match, which unfortunately I did lose. But I mean, I feel like it's justifiable when you take a diamond cutter from a ladder through a table.
Yeah, I definitely say so. But having such a big rivalry, what did it mean to you to have the last match be on the biggest show of the year?
I mean, that is kind of like the perfect end to a story, I feel. Like having the final show, like the big, WrestleMania-esque equivalent for your company, that is where your long-running feuds should end, or like should climax. So yeah, just having that match going. I believe, if I remember correctly, we went the second to last for that show, and we went out there. We did what we could, and I feel like we left. Both of us left more experienced than we came in.
Hell yeah. Now, I believe it's time for Philip's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh, well, give me a second then. I have to think. I haven't been on the road that much lately due to some personal things, but well, there's always some fun things happening whenever, well, the local shows, the Stockholm Wrestlings and the Freedom Pros, like when they have the local show, there's always a fun thing when we carry the rings and stuff from the training, from our training area. It's basically something that we've always said, is that if we are managed to get the all the ring equipment and everything, if it all manages to get smoothly from our training area to the venue, then someone is going to get injured at the show. Because it's almost like a curse. I keep bringing it up whenever I assist in that, whenever I have the time, and I mean, luckily it doesn't always come to pass, but sometimes it does, and that sadly makes the curse a bit justified. But I don't really, unfortunately, have any better road trip stories since, as I said, it's been a while since I've been on the road trips, on the roads. But and when I do, it's usually just boring, weird talks in the car with whomever I happen to ride with.
No, that's definitely interesting. Are you somebody that is superstitious?
I would say no, actually. I'm usually a bit more of a goofball when I talk, so I'll just say something and usually get a laugh. So I usually just say it as a joke. The problem is when that joke just turns out to actually be real. Like there was like if I say like, okay, one time like last year we carried the ring, everything went smoothly, we put it up in probably like record time, and then like one of the wrestlers that was in the first match almost necked himself, like broke his neck. And I mean, he luckily he was fine. His neck must have like been rubberized before the match or something, because he just bounced up afterwards. But it looks really nasty. We thought, oh my god, he just broke his neck.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
We here have on the show we have had guests that have had paranormal or extraterrestrial encounters before. Have you ever had a paranormal or extraterrestrial encounter?
Ooh, that's a question. I mean, no, when you live in a country that during the winter months have very little sunlight and it turns dark very quickly, you do occasionally believe that you see some spooky things in the dark. But as for me, I would not say I have felt any real of those paranormal things. More just, I mean, just the odd like creak in a dark room and stuff. But no real things that I can recollect, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, we like to say on Wrestling With that everybody is nerdy about something. Everybody geeks out, fanboys over something. What is something that you are nerdy about?
Oh boy. Well, that is a very widespread question. Like it's more like take your pick. I'm nerdy about a lot of things. Currently, I mean, have been nerdy for a long time about Warhammer. I do like to. One of my favorite hobbies is just kind of chilling back and painting some models.
Okay.
Otherwise, I mean, I also usually play Dungeons and Dragons, like with some international friends, and yeah, just watching shows, all kinds of shows. But yeah, the things I'd say mostly is either Warhammer or D&D.
Well, let's get into a little D&D. What's your current campaign?
Oh, well, I'm currently part in a like very large and expansive West Marches campaign, where the DM has been like he's been working on this world, like this very very intricate and expansive world for I don't know, like almost like 5 years now. I joined in was it 2022 into this game, and I've met a bunch of friends that I'm very close with now. And yeah, like this world is like very intricate and expansive. The DM, he loves to just make wiki pages, so he has like this whole little Wikipedia page where with all of these articles and stuff about just the world and its cultures and all of those things. He even has like just a section that is all about like local food delicacies.
That's awesome. How many hours are you in?
Well, how many hours of the game I've been in?
Yeah.
That is hard to say, like, because it's, as I said, we're a large group. There's like 20 people, and in the game total, and then like the DM will usually put up a session call, and then we just let him know if we're available, and then he will usually just kind of draw the names out of a hat, and then so we have like 5 to 6 players each time at least.
Okay.
And the sessions usually about 4 to 5 hours. One time we even had a session that went about 10 hours for a single session.
Wow. And how much longer is the session? The campaign, I should say.
I believe right now, like, we are in. Well, the campaign currently had like 2 parts. Like we had like part 1, and that like lasted for a couple of years, and now we're currently in the latter half of part 2.
Okay.
So it's been going for a while.
And what class are you?
Oh, I play a goblin sorcerer, a goblin wild magic sorcerer. So I am all about the chaos and the fun mischief.
With a little bit of toxic mixed in there.
Oh yeah, no, like the character I play, like they're very mouth-offish and toxic to their enemies.
And what level are you?
We are currently, as I said, this is the second part, and like every part we have a new character. So I'm currently level 11 in that game. And we expect that this part will end when we're about level 15, 16.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Alright. Let's transition to Warhammer. Is that any, how much different is that from, like, a D&D?
Well, Warhammer, that is more it's still like a tabletop game, but it's more like a strategy, war game. Like you have your army of models, and you go up against your opponent's army of models, and you fight each other, try to complete missions and objectives on just this on the playing field. And it's like half of it is just getting your models and painting and assembling them, making them look real nice and shiny, and then the other part is just playing the game, just going up against your buddy's army and see who comes out on top.
Is it as long as a D&D session?
Yeah, it depends on how big of an army you're playing. If you're just playing a 1,000-point army, which is then a game might take maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours ish.
Okay.
But if you play like a full game where both of you have 2,000 points worth of army soldiers and everything, then a game could take maybe like 3 to 4 hours depending on kind of like what kind of army you're playing. If you're playing a army that specializes in fast movement and fast attacks, then it might be over quicker. But it all depends on which faction you're playing.
I gotcha. And you mentioned, painting the models. Is that something that um, they're not pre-painted, or is that just something that you prefer to do yourself?
Oh no. With Warhammer models, when you buy them, they come like disassembled and unpainted. So the thing that you do is you take them, assemble them, and then you paint them up with and some people like really put their work into their painting, and some people just slap a bunch of coats of the appropriate colors and then call it a day. But like I'd say half of the fun of Warhammer is just relaxing, putting on some music in the background or a podcast or a show, and then sitting down and painting some miniatures.
That actually does sound like a wonderful time. Is there one that you've made that you are more proud of than the others?
Oh, I mean, I currently have like one army that I'm currently playing, which is the Necrons, which is it's basically an army of how do I describe it? Imagine Egyptian Terminators in space.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, just a bunch of Terminator robot people, and they have like this Egyptian aesthetic to them. And yeah, it's a fun army. It's quite easy to paint for someone who will be honest is not the best painter. But yeah, you just coat them in like some nice silver color, add maybe some rust effects to them, and some glowing paint for some of the glowy bits, and then yeah, it looks at least halfway decent.
Alright. I think it's time for the colossal question now. Let's say that they're making a movie about you. Big production, the biggest producers, unlimited budget. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh, all right. Let me think here for a moment. I feel like at least one of the songs would be the what's it called? "Bury the Light" by by Casey Edwards.
Okay.
That's from and then the other songs that would be playing would be "Can't Stop" by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
And finally, there would be sad to say, I cannot really think of a third one, and that would be inappropriate for me. But I'd
continue.
No, go ahead.
We could come back to it. Give you some time to think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, now that we have the soundtrack partially done, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays you? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Ooh, all right. Let me think. I feel like I have to kind of go a bit nationalistic here and say Bill Skarsgård
Okay.
should play me.
Alright. And now every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people with meaning to you and your story that would be in your movie?
Well, I feel like I feel like already 2 people that would be there would be the guy that trained me, which is Marcus of Man. I feel like some sort of good British actor should play him if I were to pick. I think I need to get back to you on that. If you want me to say who should play them as well, but
Yes, that was the second part of the question.
yeah, sorry. I feel like Marcus of Man being played by some good British actor. Not really good with names.
Maybe
Or
David Tennant?
maybe David. Yeah, maybe David Tennant could play Marcus if he grew out his hair. Then for my second person, there would probably be my old tag partner and kind of first rival, Dimitri.
Okay.
As for who should play him, I think probably like Dolph Lundgren should play him.
Okay, I dig it.
Just tap into that old Ivan Drago energy. And then for the third individual there, I feel it is going to be I'm gonna say another one of my close friends in the Scandinavian wrestling business, and the one who has been very, very friendly and very supportive, and that would be Alice Inc.
Okay.
She actually began wrestling about the same time as me and Dimitri, and she just took to wrestling immediately, and she's still being very humble, very great, very supportive of the business. As for who should play her, I feel that someone like a female actor that is small yet kicks a lot of ass. Trying to think of a good one for her.
I'm trying to think too. I mean, most actresses are very small, so.
Yeah, but we're talking very, very small here. It doesn't matter if they have the budget; they can just Photoshop up them to be smaller. But I feel someone like, I don't know. Oh, really? Yeah, this one was a hard one, actually, thinking.
It is. I'm going through my Rolodex of actresses too.
Yeah.
I want to say like a Ruby Rose, but I'm only really thinking about her because of all the tattoos.
Yeah. I'm thinking like maybe someone like Karen Fukuhara.
Okay.
could try and play her.
Yeah, that definitely works.
Yeah.
Alright. Did you come up with a third song?
I feel like something along the line of let me just go through my Rolodex of songs I feel would fit.
Pull up that good Spotify.
Yeah, I'm kind of currently doing that. Let's oh yeah, here we go. Yes, End of the World by Battle Tapes.
Okay. Alright. Well, this is sounding like a fantastic movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you could pre-order the tickets now. Alright. Now you are from Sweden, so I do have to ask, is Sweden's greatest national treasure ABBA?
Maybe not to me, but I would say that overall they are a very coveted and respected national symbol.
You said maybe not to you. In your opinion, who is?
Who is my thing? Well, I'd say that to me, the greatest thing that Sweden has produced is the meatballs. They are the best.
So, the Swedish meatballs.
Yes. And I'm talking proper Swedish meatballs. Like you have to if you come to Sweden and you get the Swedish meatballs here, they are truly the best.
Now you're just making me hungry. Where is the best place to get Swedish meatballs?
Oh, well, it is in Stockholm. There is this restaurant out kind of in the middle, kind of in the middle of the city. There is this island that is all like greenery and like parks, and there is a restaurant there that has Swedish meatballs on the menu. And you know it's a good restaurant when you go there and everyone there is like in their, like every patron in the restaurant is like in their 50s or in their 60s, and like they look like they are come here on the regular.
Okay. And if I could ask, what does make a Swedish meatball, in your opinion?
Well, it is a combination of just the quality of the meat, the usually the light gravy on the side, the lingonberries, and the fresh potato with the skin still on.
Okay.
That is the combination that makes a perfect plate of Swedish meatballs.
Alright. Well, this is definitely something I need to do if I ever make my way to Sweden. Alright.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend it.
Now onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I'd agree that it is a crime. However, in Sweden we put a lot of heinous shit on our pizzas. We put bananas on the pizza. We put we put salad and kebab on our pizzas. We have, well, I don't have the time to I don't know if I have the time to explain what a Karlskrove is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a heinous invention from the people in northern Sweden, which is you take a burger and fries, and then you basically bake them into like a calzone.
Ooh.
So like you cut open the calzone, and there's just a burger and fries, and like you get some like béarnaise sauce. And it is a full crime. It is a crime against health. It is a crime against humanity. And the worst part is that it does not taste half bad. I've only had it once, and it wasn't as bad as I believed it was, which made the whole thing even worse, I feel.
So you are anti-pineapple on pizza, but it's not the worst thing you could put on top of a pizza, no?
Exactly.
Alright, I respect that. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Ooh. Well, I'd say that my spirit Pokemon, and then the Pokemon that is closest to me in body and soul, all I feel is Rowlet. It is round and adorable, just like me.
Alright. Now, weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Yeah, I think we could have at least a 2.5-star match.
On the Meltzer scale?
Yes, on the Meltzer scale.
Alright, well, just for context, there is this wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Well, now you've made me curious, and I need to try and track that down.
I could send it to you.
I'd love that.
Yes, it's definitely a sight to be seen. No spoilers. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh. I mean, I'd say hopefully still be wrestling in some capacity. Right now I'm kind of in a bit of a, I'd say, transitional part in my life. A lot of things going on more like privately that has been unfortunately kind of, well, not put a hinder, but just kind of slowed down my wrestling for the moment. But hopefully once that all passes, I'll be able to well, shift gears and put a bit more into my wrestling career, and yeah, hopefully in 5 years at least have or at some point have had some gold around my waist.
Oh yeah. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
Oh, I feel like the best match that people should try and track down to see what I as a wrestler is all about, I'd feel is either the TLC match with Dimitri that I had, and my match against Aussie Miller, I'd say my second match with Aussie Miller, which was the aforementioned tournament match for the vacant Capital City Championship.
Can we find those on YouTube?
They should be available on YouTube. If you were to check out Stockholm Wrestling, they should have on either YouTube or on Facebook. They usually usually put up either the shows in their entirety or the matches separately, so that you can go and watch with English commentary and everything.
Perfect. And if they are indeed on YouTube or Facebook for that matter, I will find them and I will put a link to them in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. For anybody that hasn't seen them, wants to see them, wants to re-see them after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
No, but I don't think that will stop you.
That is the correct answer. Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Daniel Bryan.
Worst wrestler.
Probably Mantar.
I will accept that answer. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Oh, I'd say let's go with John Moxley.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
I feel Seth Rollins' current theme.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Stupid but necessary.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Is it a fruit or a vegetable?
I'd say that it's more of a vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, alright, fine, whatever.
Well, you're part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more. New Japan wrestler Tai Chi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I mean, there have been wrestlers that have wrestled in way less than Tai Chi. I feel, but personally, I'd say that just above, like the thigh, like the beginning of the thigh, is the minimum.
So about 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
I haven't. Sad to say, I have not.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find all things toxicity on social media?
You can find me, Philip Recin, the Caustic King, the 100% toxic wrestler, on Instagram at Philip_Recin_PW. That's Philip_Recin spelled RECIN_PW.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And if you're at a show, buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Alright.
For our special guest, Lord Philip Recin, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.